This video presentation on politics and government is brought to you by Kiefer Rawlings and Sam Stoutoff. Hope you enjoy. Here's a little content overview of what we will be going over. First, we got online political campaigning. Then we'll have electronic voting, government control of the internet, e-passports, online government, government databases, and last but not least, military use of IT. Today, political campaigning is all around us. No longer is it just seeing ads on TV, but now with this new millennium that we're in, this technology age, it has gone viral on the internet. Political campaigning, such as for Barack Obama's most recent election, he used the website barackobama.com to get across many of his ideas. That's the idea of political campaigning. Promote your ideas to the public, get voters' support behind you. He uses this website for many different things, such as right now there's an e-petition for the gun violence that has happened in recent years, where anybody can log onto this website, enter, and sign this petition virtually. It's an electronic petition. Many of these have come about today, and this one right here was started by our president. Also now, on political campaign, we can see what the president's up to. Twitter. He uses Twitter to acknowledge the country and let them know what's going on in political affairs. Things like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We can go to his Facebook page right here. As you see, 35 million people have liked Obama's Facebook page. And just updates come through this page where people can scroll down his feed and just find out more about Obama, more about what he's doing, what he's helping for our country, and just what he's doing to try to help make a more prosperous country for us. And campaigning like this goes on for the other guys too. Mitt Romney had many stuff like this where he tried to promote his ideas. And he had many of the same things. Tumblr is now used. Pictures of the president or runners will post pictures, and just again another way to promote their ideas to the public and get more voters. And that's what it's all about, is getting more voters behind them. As we see in their Facebook and Tumblr pages. And many of them have Twitters, and their closest members have Twitters, as we see in Michelle Obama and Obama both have Twitters, where they both update the country periodically throughout the day on just how they're doing, but also how the country's doing. And then YouTube, where he can record a video and send it out to the entire country who has access to the internet. The political campaigning has gone to the internet because it's become part of our generation, where everything is on the internet, and it just makes things so much easier for everybody in terms of access, in terms of capability of understanding. If you don't understand maybe something you heard in his speech on TV, now you can go onto his website and find out more about the topic he was speaking about and understand it more. As we see right now, when we click on YouTube, he's going to have some videos of things he promotes or things of him actually speaking to the public, to the citizens of America. So now Sam Stoutoff actually has a special YouTube video for you all that he put up online for his campaign in the recent weeks. Unfortunately, it came short, did not result in him being the president, but here's his video, a good example of online campaigning. Yeah.
What's up? It's Sam Stoutoff, and I'm running for school president in the 2014 school year. And I got a lot of ideas that will make our school strong, kind of like this.
Go, shorty. It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip a cup.
Yo, Mitch, who's gonna be the best president?
Started for president.
All right, cool.
Who won, yeah?
Vote for Stoddy.
Yo, vote for Stoddy, yo.
Vote for Stoddy?
Vote for Stoddy.
All right, yo.
I'm Durs, and I vote Stoddy for president.
Stoddy for president.
Yeah. Now you may be wondering, I really like Obama's ideas. I really like what he's all about, and I want to get behind him in his journey to become elected. In previous times, you can donate to his process. You can click on the donate button right on his homepage, where it will take you right to a place where you can select the amount of money you want to donate and be able to donate to his campaign, others' campaigns on their websites, through micropayments. And this is how most of the money is raised during campaigning, obviously by big businesses, but the majority of money that runs campaigns is through electronic micropayments from just small amounts of money from many people across the country. And these people are finding out all about the people who are running through this online political campaign age through RSS feeds and emails and other websites, as you see here with BarackObama.com. And that's just a little inside scoop on political campaigning. With today's technology, everything's going electronic. Instead of going to a voting station and casting a ballot that would then be counted by hand, today it's all electronic voting. Now, most cases when voting for a president, you'll go to an online voting station and use a direct recording electronic voting machine where you go in, click on what you want to vote, usually a touchscreen, and it records your vote automatically. In some cases, they'll use optical scanning electronic voting systems where you'll mark everything by hand, and they'll have optical recognition machines that will still be able to do the same thing of counting votes electronically. And also, we can do voting for different things such as class presidents, different things like what's your favorite food, things such like that. And so we have our class presidents coming up. Have a little survey going out there. Who would you like to be class president? Now, I sent this across the world. Sent it out to my friend Bobby Joe and let Nigeria over in Africa. And this is what he sent to me when he voted. He went in, he voted, and he voted Sam Stothoff. Now, what happens from there when he clicks done? His signal, filled with data from the vote, is transferred from his computer to his router, and then from the router through the modem, his signal, filled with data, is sent to the internet, and then through the internet, it travels across the world, back to Baltimore, where we will get the data. His vote, his data, then is sent across the internet through the WCAS cable that travels up and down the African coast all the way up to the UK. Then from the UK, it takes a transatlantic fiber optic cable number 14 from the UK all the way over to New Jersey, and then local area cable providers then take care of the rest from getting the signal from New Jersey into Baltimore, where we then receive the vote into our computers here at St. Paul's. That signal is then sent from the internet into my modem, to my router, to my computer, where I then am able to access SurveyMonkey itself and get the results. No, Sam Stothoff with the early lead, up 2-0 over Connor Keenan. I think this race is about over. I don't see many people voting for Connor Keenan in this one. Here's some quick notes on electronic voting. You may want to pause this video, catch up on your studying.
Haha, what should I Google? Ooh. Drugs. Nah. Oh. Gambling. Nah. I'll look up some ladies. Nah. Oh, Death to America. But how? Perfect. Oh, I think I heard a noise.
Where's your girl?
Rashid bin Laden, you're being arrested for conspiracy acts against the United States of America. Do you understand what I am saying to you, boy?
I didn't do it.
You did, so do it. We saw you on your little laptop thingy doing all your little bad work, how to make a bomb. You now going to Gitmo. Take him away, boys. Take him away.
So we had Sam wear something over his face to explain how the government doesn't know who's always behind the computer. In this instance, it's Sam, the little scrawny blonde-haired kid behind the computer, who is the terrorist in this instance. And the government doesn't know ever who is behind the computer screens, and that's sort of the reason why we had him wear something over his face.
Hey everyone, coming to you from my house, just chilling, drinking a vanilla Coke. It's pretty good. So I'm going to talk about government control of the internet. So some things the U.S. has in place for government control is something like the Children's Internet Protection Act. And this is in place in schools and library, and it requires schools and libraries to filter out any inappropriate websites and anything on the internet that's inappropriate. And then some other things is like the Digital Millennium Copyright Act prevents certain websites that are deemed to have illegal material. It prevents them from coming up on search engines, and it filters them out. And as opposed to other countries, the filtering can differ depending on the culture, depending on whether the government feels is necessary to filter and not control about the internet. So, and then some other things that have to do with filtering are like blacklists. So that allows only the website. This allows you to filters out any websites that you choose to block that you don't want people to go on. And then government can also use whitelists, which are websites that they only want you to go on. So like this would be necessary in like schools or sometimes in like prisons, because they only want to let the inmates on educational websites. Another way to filter is like keyword filters. So if you type in, anything, you could filter out anything that had to do with pornography or child abuse or something like that. And then search engine filtering, that's more of like it's more of like the keyword filters. Anything that you type into a search engine, you can filter out any words. And then how they filter is sometimes DNS poisoning, which makes it so when you enter in an IP address that it deems like blacklisted or anything or blocked, then it'll take you to a fake IP address, and that address will say this website is blocked, blah blah blah, something like that. And then firewalls also can prevent websites from showing up and block websites, and sometimes they can cause false positives or negatives, false negatives. And this means that, like, say a firewall blocks a bunch of inappropriate sites, yet accidentally blocks a site that is not inappropriate or does not want to be blocked. That website is falsely blocked because it's actually one that you wanted to be appropriate. So that's kind of an issue. One of the ethical issues is censorship. A lot of times people don't even know if their government blocked the website or not. They just don't even know that the website's there. And that's kind of an issue in itself. And then also just internet freedom, whether the government should control the freedom of the the freedom or the right to go anywhere on the internet to any website you want. In other countries, it's a lot worse than us, like North Korea or China. They censor a lot of websites and material on the internet. And yeah, so that's government control of the internet.
Hello, everybody. As you can see here, I got a U.S. passport. Got a stunner right in there. So this is one of the new passports. Since 2012, they've been issuing. The U.S. has been issuing passports with RFID chips. As you can see, that little rectangle box right there with the circle in a minute. That is directly behind that is where the RFID chip is, and that helps for multiple of reasons: security, convenience, and all in all, it helps. It makes it much easier when you're at customs. So now we have a video for you guys on e-passports and the process of how it is authenticated when going through customs. So as you can see, I walk up to customs and I hand my passport to the person working there. They go through my passport, everything. So right there, he's scanning my passport. The scanner sends a signal to the RFID chip saying it wants to get the information that's on the RFID chip. The RFID chip actually authenticates the scanner and that it's a legal scanner, because a lot of the issues are people with unmarked scanners will come up and swipe your passport and get your identification and potentially steal your identity. So here the RFID is authenticating the RFID reader. It then the RFID chip establishes a secure connection between this single reader and the RFID chip itself. It then sends a scrambled data message back to the scanner, where the info is then collected by the scanner. Then the actual scanner, identifies the integrity of the chip itself. Is it a real chip? Is it a fake? Is it a copy? And then, as we see here, the person at customs will then authenticate the passport holder. So biometrics that are logged onto that are already encrypted on your RFID chip then go to the computer in customs, comes up on their screen, and he matches everything. And this is how they authenticate the passport holder. And that's just the process of e-passports and how they're changing the passport world today, changing customs, and hopefully we don't get stuck in those long lines at random hours when people are coming into the country. Thank you. And here's some quick notes on e-passports.
Hey guys, I'm here to talk about online government today on my PAL tune. So the first part of online government is government information sites, and they can range from a matter of things: health, student finance, talking about laws for taxes and other things. Usually on these websites, an example of these websites would be USA.gov or Maryland.gov, anything with a .gov behind it. Most of these websites are educational, and some of them have a lot of safety information, such as how when avoiding natural disasters, or something like bike safety or something of that matter. So now the government services that it has online are getting registered for some things, and other registrations. You can do e-passports. You can sign up for passports, and you can get some licenses on the internet. And this comes along with authenticity concerns, because if someone's saying that they are who they are on the internet, they aren't always the person behind the computer. So that's kind of a concern with registrations on the internet that the government has to deal with. might be asking yourself, what is open governance? Open governance is when the every um, every move or every decision or every action that the government makes, they they show online, and um, they provide that to the people, and they show that they've done it online. So this creates transparency. So you can look and see what bills have been passed or what a government did or something like that in all in a day's work. So and then there's some concerns with this too, because it creates there's equality of access concerns, because some people don't have access to the internet, and so they can't actually see what the government's doing, and that's kind of unfair. But so that's the end of my Powtoon on online government. Thanks for watching. Howdy, how you doing? I'm just chilling in my house, sipping a vanilla Coke, just chilling. About to talk about some government databases. So the four kind of main government databases used are, there's a medical database, and that's just a patient's medical history, what certain doctors did to the patient after, or what treatments they got. So so the next doctor that attends to the person knows what happened to them. And then also there's transport systems. So they have like a database of like how many people use or signed up for like a local bus or a light rail, and it allows planners to see like the most frequent routes. So like they know the most frequent paths people are taking, and they can make their company, or they can make the transport system more efficient. Next is police databases. That contains crime history and personal information of a person. That's usually when you get pulled over or something, the police will take your license and put your name into their database and see if you come up for anything crime related. And then the last one is telephone call. So like this is a database. They don't record what you say in the actual call, but they do record the length of time of your call and who was calling who and at what time. So those are some of the databases the government uses. Some concerns is that there can be sometimes a mission creep, which means that the main idea of the database changes from one to another. So at first it's say a medical database, but then they end up using it for something else, that they like personal information for something else. And that means it's switching the actual mission of the database to something that it wasn't intended to be. Also, they can do data matching and data mining, which means that they can kind of see the trends in what you do, and that way they can find out kind of who you are or what you're doing through using databases and seeing trends. It's also a security, privacy issue. Obviously, if the police know all your private information, it's a privacy issue there, and sometimes the databases could get hacked. There's always a chance of getting hacked, and so that's kind of a security issue. Then integrity. Sometimes the data in the databases could be wrong. It could show up wrong or be put in wrong, which would just make the database, some of the data in the database, wrong information. There's been some failed database initiatives. A lot of them were in UK. Contact Point tried to get the names and information of children in the UK. Some of the Super Database tried to get cards for all UK citizens, but that never worked out, and they end up spending billions of euros trying to make these databases that ultimately fail. So that's government databases. Hey guys, I'm here just chilling with my pulled pork sandwich, and just got my braces off, so I'm feeling pretty good. See right there? Yep. So I'm going to talk about the military uses of IT, some of them. So the first one is simulators. These are sometimes called virtual reality and virtual environments. What they do is using IT systems, they recreate environments that you would likely see as a soldier, and they recreate missions. And so they usually use like headsets and goggles, and you look through the goggles and you'll see like a almost like a video game kind of, and there's like the big advantage to this is that you can do missions and see how you do in those missions, or see how you react in those certain types of situations, which is really good. And then they have a thing called tactile feedback, and that's in the picture in the top left. You can see that's when they'll hook something up to you, and you'll actually feel some kind of physical maybe not pain, but physical sensation when you get hit with a bullet in virtual environments, or you fall or something of that matter in a virtual reality. And then they have a thing called mixed reality, and that's like what the name says it is. It's like a mixture of doing actual physical things and like seeing some type of virtual environment. So it's kind of a mix between real, like a real test and a virtual reality test. Then we got some battlefield technology. Future warrior systems or wired soldiers is basically that's kind of how they are starting to get IT systems into like everyday soldiers, so like they can communicate better and usually know more things going around them, because they can have a future warrior system hooked up to them. So that's like they'll wear like a visor or something, and the visor will come down and it'll give them commands or directions or anything of that nature. And then augmented reality displays, that's like in the picture above. It's like heat vision, night vision, those kinds of things where you put on goggles and you're seeing reality, but then you're seeing it in different forms, such as like heat form, like orange for heat form and that kind of thing. So that's my presentation. I hope you like it. Thank you.
All right, so another use of IT in the military is the form of smart weapons. The main smart weapon used is the unmanned aerial vehicles, also known as UAVs or drones. These serve for multiple purposes: gathering intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and close aerial support. Close aerial support being they can have bombs attached to them, and they can drop them and blow full buildings to smithereens whenever they want. These UAVs come in all different types of sizes. There can be some that are used now just for mostly the surveillance, gathering intelligence, and recon. That can be the size of bugs and have tiny cameras attached to them, and it's basically like a video game controller controlling them, and they are used to going places where people aren't supposed to be, don't want to be seen, and they it's like having your own set of eyes in there. So now I have a video for you guys that's about the MQ-9 Reaper UAV Predator. This is a UAV that is used for all four of the things I talked about earlier: of intelligence, surveillance, recon, and close area support. And is attached with it can and for close area support, it is attached with these precision guided weapons, also known as smart bombs, where click of a button, the pilot who's not in the drone, who's just looking on at a computer screen, controlling everything from his desk, really is clicks a button, the bomb locks on and blows whatever the target is the pieces. And so here's the video, and I hope you guys enjoy.
The mission of the Reaper is both ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and also CAS, close air support. So not only are we helping ground forces see what they need to see, but if they're in trouble, we have weapons that can support suppressing the enemy forces. We really don't have to fly that high not to be seen. One, because they're not that large, and two, because it's not that loud. It's really amazing. There's two stations. There's the pilot station and the sensor station. The pilot obviously is controlling the aircraft and the movement of the aircraft, whereas the sensor is controlling the sensor ball and actually moving that to look at different things, zoom in, zoom out. Our video feed is literally being watched by people all over the country and the world. There's people down on the ground really relying on you getting the best picture of whatever they need you to look at. We have the ability to stay airborne for 24-hour periods and tie all these different people into the scene and make decisions very promptly. We're able to have more troops here at home, but at the same time having as much of an impact on getting the mission done overseas.
The MQ-9 Reaper aircraft is capable of carrying 4 Hellfire munitions. The Reaper is also capable of carrying 4 GBU munitions, guided bomb units. We can either load the GBU-12. The GBU-12 is a 500-pound laser-guided munition, or the GBU-38, which is a GPS-guided munition. The Hellfire is extremely accurate, and it's laser-guided. The sensor operator, they're the ones that lays the target. The sensor can pick where they want to put the munition, whether in a car window, the passenger, or the rear. They work in coordination with the pilot. He's the one that actually pulls the trigger, releasing the weapon. It's amazing to see these munitions at work. It's very satisfying to know that we have a hand in what's going on in the world, whether it's training pilots home station or being deployed, supporting the war effort.
So next we're going to talk about military robots. There are many types of military robots. There's a heavy increase in development of a driverless vehicle that will transport the militaries and military weaponry around, so there's no driver. Then you have something called the sword robot, which is basically a high-speed robot equipped with weapons, which can be remotely controlled by a soldier from 700 meters away, so the soldier is out of harm's way. And then you have the most common military robot that uses IT system, and that would be the bomb disposal robot, controlled by a remote control by a soldier, so that a soldier facing danger of a potential bomb doesn't have to get near the bomb, and that he can do the diffusing through the robot itself. Then here's a quick clip from our favorite show, the IT Crowd, that has a little bit of comedy behind the bomb robot.
I'll get back into work and hopefully nobody will have noticed we were away.
Oh my gosh. It's a robot! I've never seen one in the bar before. Where'd you come from, fella? Huh? Where'd you come from? Can we keep him, Roy? I mean, if he doesn't belong to anyone.
I just don't understand what it's doing. I mean, this is weird. What is it?
Moss? What?
Get away from it.
Why? Hello, Jen! It's a robot!
Get away!
What?
Get away! Get away from it! There's a bomb!
What are you saying?
There's a bomb in the bag!
I think this might be a bomb disposal robot, Roy. Hang on. We should move away from it.
Yes, we should. But I don't seem to be able to move.
What?
I can't move.
What do you mean you can't move?
I can't move.
You have to move, Roy.
I can't move. I'm just having a couple of problems with it.
What kind of operating system does it use?
It's Vista.
We're going to die!
Use of IT where that affects the military is an increasing issue, and that is cyber warfare, the potential threats of it, and the threats of cyber terrorism. Cyber warfare is the use of attacks on the computers of networks of the enemy to damage infrastructure or spy on their systems. And these are through denial of service acts such as viruses, Trojans, and other types of ways. And this is becoming an issue because they're afraid that wars will basically just become cyber, and it could be countries hacking into other countries' databases and just taking all information, exposing it, deleting it. Just a lot of things that can go wrong in this case. And then cyber terrorism is the same thing as cyber warfare, but just by their terrorist attacks, and these are more on the lines to damage the morale of a country. And the issues behind this is that no computer is 100% secure due to human error in choosing bad passwords, or biometric can be hacked, and just a multitude of things. Databases are never fully encrypted, and they can be decoded, so that it's hard to be 100% secure. And another issue is that it's difficult to discover if you're being spied on, or if you've been spied on, or what information someone's already compromised and knows about. So those are just some of the issues, and yep. So that's our video, folks. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to Mr. Mitchell for his time in his interview, and have a great day.
It's the one and only Digo Double G. Snoop Dogg. You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E. Yeah. You know the West Coast is back for all you suckers. So put something in there. Put it in there. Yeah. Suck, Snoop. Top dog, bite them all. Yeah, I'm burning it up. DPGC, you should be turning it up. CPT, LBC, yeah.
So we're here with Mr. Mitchell, delegate, correct?
Yep, that's right.
And we're just asking some stuff about online government. Mr. Mitchell, just if you could talk about briefly, what are most of the bills and information that are presented to you? Do they come in the form of hard copies or digital copies? And
It depends, and it varies. In terms of legislation we get is it is presented in a hard copy. In terms of a House bill introduction, so you get it paper, and it's the actual write-up of the bill. And then on top of the bill, you get something called a fiscal note, which is also on paper. And essentially, the fiscal note is the legislative analyst that describes what the bill does, and more importantly, how much it's going to cost the government if this law is implemented. Then you can get the bill online also. So it's all open access for everybody.
Okay, cool. Good. So how has the change in technology in the past few years affected you as part of the government in terms of access and making it easier in access and communicating?
Essentially, the change of government in terms of what has happened now in this new digital age has allowed us, in terms of government, to reach more people. In the past, a constituent would write you a letter, put a stamp on it, mail it to you, and you get a stack of pieces of paper for a response to a constituent problem or an issue. Nowadays, everything is email. A lot of things are on Facebook, Twitter, social media. So it's had a tremendous impact in terms of our ability to communicate with a larger population, but also it's had an impact on holding a lot of us in government accountable, because the technology allows constituents and voters to follow up to see if you did what you said you were going to do.
Okay, very good. All right, what are the goals of media-rich sites controlled by the government, such as Maryland.gov or USA.gov?
USA.gov and Maryland.gov are websites, obviously, to allow people to access their government. In the past, you would have to call your elected official, schedule an appointment, wait for an elected official to come to the district or come to an event to be able to ask them questions or relate to them. Now, what the website does, it allows you to communicate better with your government representative. You're able to talk to them through email. You're able to pull up legislation. You're able to talk to not just the elected official, but also their staff. They have their staff emails. So if, John Doe, who is the chief of staff of my office, is working on an issue, that person can be in touch with you also. So it gives the people access to more government than as in less government.
Mr. Rich, could you explain to us a little bit about open governance and how it's used to hold politicians in check?
I like the quotes, hold politicians in check. Open governance allows the public to, again, access their elected officials. You're able to look up our votes, not just on the floor if we're voting for, let's say, a sex offender registry list, and you tell us, hey, we want you to vote for that bill, and I say, well, I'm going to vote for it, and then I change my mind and not vote for it. You can look up my voting record, not just on that bill, but you can look up my voting record in committee, through the committee process. So open government is an excellent tool to allow the public to see what their elected representatives are doing. This replaces the things that we had to do in the past 10, 15 years ago to go down to Annapolis or Washington and actually witness it. You don't have to go down. You're now, because of technology, able to access all those records.
Thank you very much. How effective are e-petitions and how are they viewed by politicians like yourself?
E-petitions are okay. I think they can be effective depending on where you live in terms of the district that you live in, and also the fact that they are being held you're being held accountable to the people. With e-petitions, it makes it easier for constituents to sign a petition to say they want a certain thing, they want a certain law passed. And a perfect example is the e-petition that's going around now to put the death penalty on referendum here in the state of Maryland that we passed in Annapolis. There's a petition going around to get people to sign up so that they can go on the ballot and let the voters decide that through an e-petition. That's very effective, and it allows people to participate in their government even more. The drawback of an e-petition is because of technology, there are new ways to be fraudulent. Are those signatures real? With all the technology we have in terms of hacking into computers and those types of things, will the signatures be fraudulent? And those are something that we have to have some type of check on.
Cool. Thank you very much. Are there any databases of which you frequently used as a delegate?
The most important database for any elected official is the voters list. And so in my district, there are approximately 15 to 17,000, in my new district, 15 to 17,000 registered voters. So what I would do is look at not just the registered voters in my district, but you can now determine who votes. So I will look at the voter who has voted in the last 3 elections. And that's someone that we call a super voter. That's a person that will come out, rain, snow, sleet, shine, whatever, they will go and vote. So I'm going to look at that voter and say that person is very engaged in the electoral or political process. And so I'm going to do a lot of outreach to that individual. Then I'll draw down onto who are the 2 out of 3 voters, who are the ones that have come out and missed an election here and there. I'm going to focus on those. If I want to get a high turnout in an election, then I will not only focus on my 3 out of 3 voters, but I will also go and do a lot of outreach, a lot of touches with the 1 out of 3 voter. That's the person I want to make sure that's come out to vote because they were engaged in something but haven't been engaged after a certain vote. So I will do a targeted mail, email, phone call to that person, and my target will be maybe 3 or 4 contacts for that 1 out of 3 voter, in hopes that that person will come out and vote to increase the turnout and my vote total to win.
Thank you very much. From your experience, how effective is online campaigning?
Online campaigning is extremely effective. I have a website. I have an interactive website. I do emails. I have emails of constituents in my district that I'll send an email, once a month or twice a month, to let them know that, what I've been up to in terms of working in Annapolis, and also to solicit their information to try to find out what they're thinking of. Probably the biggest part of the online campaigning is fundraising. It is very easy to now fundraise. I can put out a solicitation and say, by 6 o'clock tonight, I need to raise $10,000 for my campaign, and send out a blast email. And individuals can now donate $1, $5, $10, $100, or whatever, and it will go right into our campaign account. There are all kinds of different campaign methods you can use for fundraising. When I ran for mayor of Baltimore in 2007, we raised online campaigning. We raised within maybe 3 to 4 months a total of about $360,000 just on email campaign and online campaign. So it's very effective.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Who handles your online or social media or just online campaigning?
That's good. Who handles that? I have a group of people that I've divided to handle my campaign apparatus. So I don't have a campaign manager per se. I like to do a lot of things on my own. I've been doing campaigns since I was 7 or 8 years old, growing up in a political family. But I do have an individual who knows technology. I don't know a lot about technology, so he handles a lot of he's always sending the emails. He's always doing that on an online campaign. As for Facebook and Twitter, I do it myself. I don't want a rogue staff person or volunteer to send something out that portrays me, and it's not something I believe in. And so I do that myself. But in terms of online, I have somebody that's very specific. They know it's very sophisticated now. You can do test emails to see what results you'll get back. So you'll send out a blast email to, let's say, 15 individuals, and you see what the response is. So if 4 people out of 15 respond back, that message wasn't good, so you can tweak it a little bit. And then you send it out again to another 15. And if you get back 10 out of 15, that's a good message. So then you can blast it all the way out. So that person knows a lot about technology and everything. I make sure I don't, on Twitter, I don't take pictures of myself. I don't show any Anthony Weiner type, any type of inappropriate photographs, inappropriate tweets. I don't look at, I don't like some of the politicians. They just don't. There's a certain decorum when you use social media that you have to. You don't talk about the features of a female who's in a meeting with you or out in public or anything like that. Well, that's right.
You ready? On a scale of 1 to 10.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
How awesome are mine and Sam's hairdos?
Well, I would say it goes back to. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it about a 5. I'd give you up there. At least you don't have the boys Latin mullet, where it's serious in the front and party in the back type mullet. But it's all right. Needs a little comb, a little shape up. It's
late in the day.
It's the summertime, but it's okay.
It's hot.
I need a haircut too. I like to keep my hair nice and short and everything. Cut back on the gray hair.
Summertime.
But I'll move it up. Since you guys have done a good job, I'll give it up to about a 7.
All right, thank you.
I'll let that pass or whatever. Looks